Good afternoon, everybody. We found her. Just a little bit late. You know, she's performing on main stage a little bit later, right after this. So she thought we were doing the interview there. So we lassoed her, and I cannot wait for you to talk to her personally. You know, it's true that in country music, you kind of really haven't made it till you win a CMA award. She's been there, done that several times. And of course, in the whole world of music, until you win a Grammy, you haven't really made it. She's been there and done that a few times too. Please welcome one of our favorite people of all time. This is Pam Tillis.
Hello there. How's everybody doing?
I have to get a load of those pants.
Hey.
Whoa.
You know what they say? It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that bling. Shoo up, shoo up, shoo up, shoo up. Remember that? Anyway, and a little animal print. Lorianne, you got the animal print on.
What is
you
it
got
with
the
us?
I don't know, but one night I was doing a show, and a bunch of friends came back. It was in Nashville, so there's a lot of friends, a lot of gal pals. And there was so much animal print in the dressing room, I felt like I was at the San Diego Zoo.
And you probably know this because on our shows over the years, we've had all kinds of fashion designers from New York. And several times they have told me one thing that will never go out of style is animal print.
That's right.
It'll always be whether you're wearing it on your legs or
That's
on
right.
your,
And I should know. I've done bell bottoms 3 times. That's how old I am.
I love bell bottoms. How have you been?
You'll hear all these same jokes at the show, so
Yeah,
please
she
laugh
will. No,
like you're
she'll
hearing
tell
them the
different
first
ones.
time.
She'll tell different ones. How you been, ma'am?
I've been all right.
Yeah.
Mostly doing pretty good. Life has its ups and downs. I lost my beautiful mother in August.
Oh.
But I feel like I always feel like Mom and Daddy are watching me out here on the road. I feel them all the time. So
Well, my favorite memory is being at your house, and you and your mom made me her recipe for fried green tomatoes.
Yeah.
I'd never had them before. And first of all, I think the tomatoes.
Maters. They're maters. They are maters.
Them maters. I think
Hell yeah.
them tomatoes were from her garden or yours.
Well, I don't know, but we love to garden. We do, and all of the kids like to garden. Daddy said one time he was so amazed because, you know, when we're little and they made us work in the garden, we're like, you know, they're making us weed the garden and pick the peas and shell the peas, and then, you know, you grow up and Daddy goes, I can't believe it. He says, all my kids are farmers.
Okay, that reminds me. Back when Mel found out, you know, you get this secret call when you're about to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. And just after he got that call, he was on our TV show and he was telling us what that was like. So he had been out in his garden and he said he was picking eggplant. And he got a call, you know, come on in, you got a phone call. So he had all this eggplant. And he said that when he heard what the call was about, you're going to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, he said he just dropped all the eggplant. And you know me, I just ask weird questions. And I said, well, did you pee your pants? He goes, I did a little more than that.
You know, after a while, Daddy lost the ability to edit.
Yes. Yes.
Because after about 70, you don't care anymore, do you?
Right.
You really don't. No, and Daddy, yeah, one more thing about gardening. We got any gardeners here? Anybody
I'm a
like
little bitty one.
like to play in the dirt? Daddy had. How many folks ever came to see us in Branson? A bunch of y'all.
Yeah.
Well, you might not have known because you didn't get to pull around back. But Daddy built this beautiful, beautiful theater in Branson, multi-million-dollar facility. Guess what he had in the very back?
What?
He had a satellite dish, and it was surrounded by turnip green patch. Proving you can take the boy out of Plant City, but you can't take the Plant City out of the boy.
So what? You are a fabulous cook. You came on my cooking show one time and cooked. I couldn't even pronounce it. Like super pisto.
Oh,
something.
Who knows?
You are a fabulous
Thank
cook.
you.
What's your favorite thing to cook at home?
Let me think. I love pasta dishes a lot. You know, I like to make like shrimp scampi. That's good.
Ooh.
Yeah. And we make breakfast. I love breakfast, like, just anything. A friend gave us some goose eggs the other day. It only takes one. Feel sorry for the goose, that's all I can say. No. They're big eggs.
Do you have mimosas for breakfast? I love a mimosa.
No, we go straight to Jack Daniels.
Is
No,
that
I'm teasing.
You see why I like to hang with her? Okay, these folks have questions for you.
Okay.
They're all your fans. And I'm afraid of this one. Johnny Lee is here. He's a fan of yours. Johnny, where are you?
The Johnny Lee?
The Johnny Lee.
What?
Yes. He loves you. There he is.
I
right
love
back.
it.
There he is.
Hi,
Hey, Johnny.
how neat. Hey, Johnny Lee.
Okay.
Well, how sweet.
I got to get my glasses.
Okay.
Yesterday, I forgot my glasses, and I had to borrow some from the audience, and they were very nice.
Can I tell you a story about
Yes.
not having my glasses on? I went to the spa, and I got a little reflexology. Anyway, after the end, I went into the ladies' room, and went to the potty, and I thought I was flushing. I pressed the emergency button. That's bad.
And did they come barreling
Yeah,
in
they
to
did.
save you?
Yeah. Fortunately, there wasn't much going on.
Good. Well, I know how that is. Okay, so Johnny Lee wants to know, and I hope you remember this. Tell the story about when you were a little girl singing in church when the preacher told you you had a pretty dress on. Now, see, I knew, Johnny, I knew you'd know something.
Since this
on
is
her.
an adult audience only, I can tell this.
Uh-oh.
Well, Daddy said that I guess I was about 5 years old, and Mama made me a little, we were all dressed up for Easter. And the preacher was a young preacher, and he'd run out of material. He hadn't quite learned his pacing yet. And so he was trying to kill some time, and he knew that I liked to sing. And he said, would you like to come up, little Pam? I hear she likes to sing. And so I came up there, and he goes, have you got a song for us? And I said, yes, sir. I was missing a few teeth. And he said, what would you like to sing today? And I said, hang down your head, Tom Dooley. I think he rolled his eyes a little bit. Anyway, and he said, and my, what a beautiful dress you are wearing. I said, thank you, sir, but my mama says it's a bitch to iron.
And did the congregation do that?
Oh, man.
Oh, how funny.
Oh.
What kind of talking to did you get after church that day?
Well, he knew, little kids, you got to watch what you say.
You have to.
Yeah, he knew it wasn't my fault.
No, she just...
I got away with more crap that way. No, I'm teasing. I like your shirt, ma'am. That's so sweet.
Isn't that pretty? Okay, this is kind of interesting. Sherry from Oregon, growing up in a musical family, what were your conversations around the dinner table?
Really normal, just regular, because we were just regular kids. A lot of times there wasn't a lot of conversation because back then, before, there weren't cell phones and video games, and we played. Mama turned us out in the morning if it wasn't school time. She's like, get out of the house. And we played all day as hard as we could play. So normally, all the kids would be at the dinner table going.
Just worn out.
Yeah, we played as hard as we could play, so there wasn't a lot of. And then, but one of my fondest memories is Daddy in the early days when he was still coming up and writing all those songs. He would pull out his guitar sometimes at the end of the meal, and Mom would be starting to wash up the dishes, and he'd kind of pull his chair back, or sometimes even put his feet up there and just start working on something, and I cherished that. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Wish I could have been there. It's been kind of magical in a way.
No,
huh?
it was cool.
Okay, another memory here. Ann Fowler from Gainesville, Florida. Do you happen to remember your old bus breaking down near Gainesville? Your dad called me, and I sent you a wrecker, Billy's Towing.
Where are you? Oh, that is
my
the best.
gosh.
Yeah, that is so. Oh, hey there. He was a good buddy. I love it.
Yeah, she was saying that he makes the best banana pudding.
He could
sure
cook.
did.
Daddy, both my parents could cook. So, thank you for sending the wrecker. You know, Daddy. It broke down a couple times. Daddy gave me a bus for my wedding present, but it was an old bus. In case you start thinking I'm, totally spoiled. I got the last 100,000 miles out of it.
Gotcha.
And every now and then, we played a gig up in Cumberland Gap, Maryland. Anybody from the Eastern Sea? We had to push it uphill to get it to the gig. So, but we got the last little bit of life out of it.
Bus life is not easy.
You know, I used to complain a lot about it, but I think I prefer it now. Flying is not my favorite.
Well, the world has changed a lot. I'm with you, yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm happy to, we call it the mothership.
Yeah.
The bus. And I like the bus now.
Now, this one does not have a name on it, but I thought it was a great question. You made a lot of great music videos. Which was the most fun for you to make?
Maybe Cleopatra.
Oh, man.
And it was so crazy. And when we got with the director, and he kind of laid out the storyboard, and he had pictures and everything, and my manager and I looked at each other, and we said, they're either going to call us geniuses or we're going to be looking for new jobs on Monday. But it was fun.
Yeah, you got to take chances.
Yeah, you
right?
do. And everything we did back in the 90s that we thought we were pushing the envelope so much, it all seems so tame now.
I know. Doesn't it seem innocent?
Yeah, I remember when Shania Twain showed her belly button and all hell broke loose.
It did.
And everything goes now.
Well, now everybody's doing it. My goodness.
Right. Yeah, except me.
Robert, yeah, me either.
Keeping mine right safely locked away.
Robert from Corpus Christi, Texas. Where are you, Robert? Say hello. Say hello to
Hey,
there
Robert.
you go. Couple of good questions here. A lot of country singers also take on acting roles. Is this something you might do? I happen to know you have done.
A little bit.
You have a little
bit. I did 24 shows of Smokey Joe's Cafe on Broadway. Not Lower Broad, the Broadway. Mm-hmm. That was cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was so cool. What a nervous wreck I was for that. That was amazing. And then I made several cameos in the TV show Nashville. Mm-hmm. And Diagnosis Murder. A bunch of stuff. I can't even...
Have you had a favorite role besides Broadway? Have you had a favorite role?
Oh, no. I thought theater was cool.
Theater is totally cool, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
So explain to us, that seems to bring out so many levels of talent because it's, of course, live, it's acting, it's singing. I mean, it's Broadway, the pressure of it. So what was your experience and how did you tame your nerves down after that first
I don't
performance?
know how I got through it. I
Really?
mean, honest to goodness. That was maybe some of the most nervous that opening night on Broadway that I've ever been. But the level of talent up there is really incredible. I mean, I'm partial to Nashville, but New York talent, all those people have to sing and dance and act and do it. Sometimes those plays, like I was in Smokey Joe's. Smokey Joe's had been on for years. and they got to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and make it seem fresh. But so I think that's why I liked it, is just getting to work with those kind of people.
Yeah.
But then the TV actors are talented in a different way. Like one of the things I loved about doing Nashville was how generous all the actors and actresses on the set were.
Chip Eston.
What a nice guy.
What
Chip
a nice
Eston.
guy.
And he would help me, you know. He'd say, now, try it this way next time we do it, or,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, he loved it so much. He and his family have stayed in Nashville.
Yeah, they love it.
They're raising their kids.
Yeah, he's a
love
good
it.
man.
Robert also wanted to know, who would you most like to do a duet with? Oh, there's so many great ones out there.
That is really, really, really hard.
You better say Johnny Lee.
Why not? I'd do that. I would do that.
I got your back,
you know,
buddy.
I can't say. It's too hard to narrow that down. A lot of people would be fun to sing with. You know, Willie, you know, our superstar legends. Like it's cool being here with people that I grew up listening to. This one thing I learned from, especially the last couple of years, we've lost so many, and I always say go see him while you can.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Willie's getting on up there. I think it'd be cool to sing with him.
Oh,
He's a little hard to phrase with, but
he is.
that's okay. I'd figure it out somehow.
He sings
He's
on
got
his own pace.
He's got his own thing.
It's like it almost doesn't matter what the band is playing.
Yeah.
He just kind of does
Yeah.
it his way.
He's in another time zone.
We know what time zone that is.
Yeah. my
Let's
goodness.
see. Another Robert from California. What is your favorite thing to do with your family when you're at home?
Oh, we're so normal and dull. No, just like everyday things, like, you know, cooking dinner and puttering around in the garden. And I like to decorate, but with my family, you know, just watching I love to go to the movies, and I love to read, and I recently learned how to play dominoes. Anybody want to get a good hot domino game going on the boat? That's really fun.
I didn't know anybody
And
still
I don't
played
know.
dominoes.
We play some kind of Texas version of it. I don't know. There's a lot of different versions, but
Oh, really?
I learned a Texas style version, and it is a blast.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
look that up. Dee and Steve, Columbia, Tennessee. What is the best advice your father ever gave you?
Oh man, well, a lot of things he taught by example, but when I was a little girl, he you know, I love Judy Garland, because seeing all the singers in the movies like Doris Day and Judy Garland's, boy, I'm really dating myself, aren't I? But anyway, and he heard me, or he'd bring home a Patsy Cline record or whatever, you know, and he would hear me try to imitate, because that's what you do to learn. You imitate. And he told me really early, I remember it even as a little girl, he says, now, Pamela, he said, you're a good little mimic. Well, actually, he said, you're a good little mimic. He said, but in this business, he said, what you really got to do is be one of a kind. And he said, because the world doesn't need another one they don't need another Judy Garland. They don't need another Doris Day. They need whatever, you know, you can bring to the table. So he said, find your own sound. And he said another neat thing to me, too. Because it took me a long time to kind of find it. You know, some people nowadays, people seem like they're overnight successes. They go on The Voice and they're overnight. Yeah. But it took me a long, long time to zero in on it. But he said, and don't change what you do. He said, let it come around to you. Let the times and the styles change and catch up with you, and it either will or it either won't. You know, but you can't plan it. You can't manufacture it.
Well, now, early on, though, you avoided country music, didn't you? I mean,
Well,
I know you did some jazz and some other things.
Yeah. It's not that I didn't love it, but when I was in high school, graduating high school, and I was really ready to get after it, you know, Daddy was at the peak of his career. I graduated from high school the year that Daddy won Entertainer of the Year. That's a lot to compete with.
Yeah.
And I felt like the little tree under the shade of the big tree. And I'm like, how am I ever going to come out from underneath that big old shadow? But so I thought, well, and I thought to myself, I'm like, well, what if I'm a better jazz singer? And I love soul music. I loved every kind of music. I studied classical as a kid, classical piano, and I loved it all. And I thought, well, maybe I better try a few things out. Yeah. I sang rock and roll and folk music and disco and new wave. I did it all. And I loved all of it, but I came home to country.
So what were you like as a rock chick?
I had a little bit of rebellious streak in me, just a little bit. But Mama called it spirited. But, but talk about things working out. So here I had this kind of rock and roll attitude. Well, think back to when things were busting out for me. Mm-hmm. Country music was changing. Mm-hmm. And here was Garth Brooks swinging off a trapeze, and going crazy. And country music, we called it turbo country. And it was really getting a little bit heavier sound. And so by the time I hit the airwaves with maybe it was Memphis, country was ready to rock a little bit. So that worked out.
Fit right in.
Yeah.
One more dad question. Ruth is here from California. What is your favorite memory of your father? Uh-oh. Make you cry. I'm sorry. Okay.
Suck
it up. Let's breathe.
God, so many. Well, he could tell a story. Everybody knows that. But first of all, I miss, hearing him sing live. I can hear him anytime on the radio.
Right.
But I just loved his singing so much.
Live. Mel live.
It was amazing.
Magic. Wasn't
just
it?
Amazing.
Yeah.
And singing with him, I think, was just precious.
Oh. We didn't mean to make you cry.
Okay. It's only been a couple years.
Oh, I know.
Okay. It's all right.
Well, and he was supposed to be on this cruise with us in 2018. And that's when, we got the news. So, all right. Oh, this is very interesting to me. Mary Beth here, Modesto, California. Is there something you do to help with writing creativity? First of all, let me tell everybody, this girl, great entertainer, great singer, behind the scenes, kick-ass songwriter.
Oh, thank you.
Chaka Khan, Conway Twitty, everybody in between has recorded your songs.
A few people. And then I just started recording my own songs. You know what? I don't know. I feel like a beginner all the time, and maybe that's kind of a good thing because, you just never know. But, they're gifts. Daddy used to always say, too, that songs come through you. And so I think just putting your butt in the chair and showing up is half the battle. And it's just half the battle. But, I grew up in a songwriting town, Nashville, Tennessee. I grew up with Roger Miller. Of course, Willie was in town. Christofferson. Oh, my gosh. Just incredible songwriters. Daddy was on fire as a songwriter. Hank Cochran, Harlan Howard. And so I think part of it is to be fearless. Just be fearless. And I never knew to be afraid. I never knew. I thought everybody wrote songs. I really did. I thought that's what people did. And I did a show. Remember the old Geo Theater at Opryland? Yes. I was doing a show there one time, and a lady came backstage, and I didn't recognize her at first. She said, I was your 4-year-old kindergarten class teacher. And I said, oh, my God. And when she said it, I light came on. And she said, you used to come to school every day, and at the end of the day, you would say, would you like to hear my new song?
That sounds fearless to me.
I was making up songs as a little kid. I was a really shy little kid. I was so awkward. I just was so awkward and had little knobby knees and I don't know, so shy. And I just remember that music was the way that I could get my feelings out. And yeah, I just
Well, you grew out of that,
Well,
man.
I was so skinny. I'll tell y'all a Christmas story. Daddy bought me some. I wanted beetle boots, but he didn't know what that. He didn't get what a beetle. He just didn't get the concept. So Christmas morning, I opened the package and it was majorette boots. And majorette boots have a really wide shaft, you know. And I was trying to be game, and I put them on, and he just started. He started laughing, trying to keep it together, and I was like, I said, what? He says, you look like a mosquito standing in 2 shotgun shells.
I do not understand his mind, but it is funny. It is funny. So since we're talking about songs, Pam is here from California as well. What is your favorite song and why? Do you have a favorite song?
I don't know. I have a lot of favorite songs. I mean, I just love the classics like everybody else. I always loved that Yesterday by the Beatles, Yesterday, I loved. Yeah. And Amazing Grace and same stuff everybody else tears up to. Will the Circle Be Unbroken, they sang last night. And there's certain songs that just hit you right here.
Yeah.
You know, certain songs of Dad's, you know, just the classics. Crazy, Patsy Cline, Crazy,
Oh, yeah.
you know, the classics.
And they always will be. That's what I
that's
love
right.
about it. Last time I saw you, you were in the most amazing black gown with this big trail on it at the CMA Awards. All decked out. It was the big CMA Awards last November that was focusing and spotlighting on the women of country music. Tell us about that experience. It was the first ever for the CMA Awards.
That was really wonderful. And just to be seated in a section with, Loretta Lynn and Crystal Gale and,
Everybody you can think of.
Was Lynn Anderson there that year? I think she was, I want to say. Reba there. And
Reba was
and
there.
Martina and Trisha Yearwood.
Little Big Town.
And to be in with all these, you feel this camaraderie.
Yeah.
And Lori Morgan, my friend Lori. And you just feel like, oh my gosh, I'm part of this. How did this happen? And I mean, even though I grew up in it, I never take it for granted. There's never any guarantees that said you can get in the club, you know. And so I just felt, and Dolly.
Of course. Oh, my gosh,
Oh,
Dolly.
my gosh. Oh, so you're just like, wow. And then Carrie Underwood was so sweet. She came up, you know, that little thing, I'm not worthy. She did that.
Oh,
like,
really?
Wow.
That is amazing.
It was cool. It was really cool.
So in your own mind, do you feel like it is more difficult for women? I know it's kind of a controversial subject about, you know, whether it is, whether it isn't. What's your thought on it? I mean, you're living it.
There's certain things I don't understand. I'll be honest. Yeah. It does seem like, guys, please don't cop an attitude, but no.
This is not male bashing. We love men.
No, but I do think, like, you just see certain male artists, and all they got to do is stand there, and the ladies go, oh, oh, oh. And it just seems like us gals, we got to work. And Reba said it before, so I can say, you got to just get up there and bust your tushy.
Yeah, I mean, the guys, and I'm not knocking it, but tight jeans, maybe a ball cap.
It doesn't take much.
Yeah. And we've got hair, we have makeup.
Oh, my God.
We've got not only the outfit, but the jewelry, then the shoes, and then, you know, we won't even talk about this too much, but there is special under.
Yeah, you have to have a firm foundation.
A firm foundation. And different kinds of foundation for different outfits.
That's right. You have no idea how many configurations bra straps can achieve. You don't know. No, it's really funny. I never, ever forget the last show Barbara Mandrell ever did. And she said backstage, she goes, I'll never diet again. She had it. I love me some Barbara Mandrell.
And it's so funny because the next time I saw her was maybe a year and a half later at the Country Music Hall of Fame. There was an induction going on. And she came up to me. She pinched me on the butt. That's how she is so funny. She'll come up. She won't say hi. She just pinches you. And I turned around and she says, before you say anything, okay, I've gained 20 pounds. And she was still this big. She was still that big. So, she's just amazing.
But I just am in awe of, like, I really can't believe, like Dolly is the same. I don't know how she just seems the same to me as she ever did. Like, how's that possible?
I don't know.
How have I gotten older and Dolly's the same?
I know, that bothers me. I need to talk to her about that. Did you hear what she's doing, though?
No.
And I want to hear.
What is she not doing?
Well, there you go.
Really?
Dolly, she just turned 75. So she has decided that she is writing a whole passel of new songs, and she will record them. But they will stay in a vault until after she's gone. And after she's gone, she has a directive from people who work with her that songs will slowly be released throughout the years so that she will be remembered and her music will continue to have a legacy. Is that not brilliant?
And by the time they get released, there'll be a Dolly hologram.
Ah!
Or a Dollygram, if you will. A Dollygram.
Dollygram. They better start now because it could take about 10 years to make it.
Yeah,
you know
that's right. That's right.
Well, Pam, this has been so delightful.
Thank
we know
you.
in just a
Thank
few
you.
minutes you're going to be on the main stage to entertain us.
Yeah.
What do we have to look forward to, you girl, or is it a surprise?
No, just a regular old Pam Tillis show. Nothing to, no. Just, I was asked, we did an autograph session this morning, so I got a pretty good idea what y'all want to hear. And then we throw some extra little things in just for fun.
All right.
And it's just a walk down memory lane. We're going to do something new from the upcoming album. And
upcoming album. We need to know.
Yeah.
What's the date on that?
Maybe April. I hope April. It's all done. It's in the can. We're just waiting to get it in the pipeline,
Fantastic.
But,
Do we keep up with that on your website?
Yeah.
And was it just PamTillis.com?
Yeah. PamTillis.com.
See how smart I am?
Yeah.
PamTillis.com.
And I like Instagram and Facebook. I've taken a brief hiatus just for the last month or so. Things have been so crazy, and I just needed a break. But I'm signing back on. I'll have some pictures from the boat and everything, and going forward. Don't you ever get to have? Do you ever take a tiny little media break, just a tiny one, or are you allowed?
I'm not allowed.
I guess.
No, our offices are right on Music Row, and I'm there even on weekends at this point.
Wow.
I am, girl. I am. And we've got a kitchen in there. If you ever get hungry, come on in. I'll make you something.
I'm always hungry.
All right. You are a treasure. We
Thank
cannot
you.
wait to
Thank
see
you.
you
We'll
tonight.
have a good time.
Pam Tillis,
Thank you, y'all.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're the Oak Ridge Boys. We want to invite you to join us on the Country Music Cruise.
Come join the Country Music Party of the Year with a fabulous roster of artists joining the fun in 2021. Enjoy over 100 performances and interactive events with country superstars including Josh Turner, Mark Chestnut, Lee Greenwood, the Oak Ridge Boys, Sawyer Brown, Mickey Gilley, Jimmy Fortune, Asleep at the Wheel, John Schneider, Lacey J. Dalton, Wade Hayes, Johnny Lee, Mo Pitney, Mandy Barnett, Ashley Campbell, cruise host Lori Ann Crook, Grand Ole Opry at Sea, Elvis tribute artists, and even more surprises to be added. With over 160 top 10 hits among them, this incredible lineup will have you singing along to every show as they perform in intimate settings just for you. Get up close and personal with these country music icons during celebrity autograph sessions, behind-the-scenes interviews, meet and greets, and more. Plus, immerse yourself in the ultimate country music experience with line dancing, cooking demonstrations, poker tournaments, theme parties, and other exciting events. Departing from Fort Lauderdale, the Country Music Cruise 2021 will visit the beautiful ports of Freeport, Key West, and Cozumel. The Country Music Cruise sells out every year, so don't wait. For our lowest rates, come visit our sales reps on board to reserve your cabin now. These low onboard rates expire when we return on February 1st. The Country Music Cruise. Real country music, a real good time.